Hi, my name's Nick Gratwick. I am responsible for all the hospitality at the All England Club for the Championships Wimbledon. I'm delighted to be joined by former British number one, Greg Rusedski. Hi, Greg.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
It looks like we might be making some cocktails today by the looks of things.
We are. Well, obviously during the Championships, normally you're running around so much, looking after our guests at Rosewater Pavilion, that I thought I'd make you a cocktail for once. Seeing that I've got you now, you're not running off anywhere else. So I'm going to make you a couple of cocktails. The first one being the first drink that people will get to when they come over to the lawn. So this is going to be a real sort of summery Wimbledon cup.
Okay,
so summer in a glass.
What is in summer in a glass exactly?
Excellent, glad you asked. So we've got some mint leaves, which go in first of all. So pick about 4 or 5 of those. We'll give them a little bit of a slap just to get the essential oils out.
I'm very impressed, Nick. Did you do some bartending in your youth?
Of sorts, at Union Bars, so it wasn't quite to this level, but we'll see. You know, you got to tell me what it tastes like.
I'm expecting high standards here.
Well, listen, let's not have the focus all on me. So, tell us a little bit about the role that you play at the Rosewater Pavilion.
Well, the Rosewater, as you know, opened up last year and it was great. I stand outside the Rosewater and welcome the guests that come in. And what makes the Rosewater so special is you enter onto the grounds itself. So you walk up, you come in for a meal, you have a lovely welcoming drink, and then you get to go onto the center court where all the great matches and all the great legends have played before in the past. So you couldn't ask
Including you.
I have, but you have to go back to last century when I was any good playing on the center court. But I've been actually fortunate enough to play under the roof because I also play in the Legends event. And
yes,
you know, that's what makes it so special these days is because you're guaranteed tennis no matter what the weather is. We're not always lucky enough where it's this sunny every single day in the summer. So, you know, the conditions are brilliant. The seats are special. And for me, it's the greatest tennis court on the planet because of the fact of all the history, all the legends, and it's one of the few slams where the court hasn't really changed.
Right, okay, even under the roof.
Well, even under the roof, actually. The only thing is they had to find a way to make the court not slip. So what they did was they had a temperature system, and also because the players use grass court shoes, it makes it just perfect. So it's about, I think, 21 degrees, the temperature in the stadium. So it slows down the court a little bit more. Okay. But on top of that, for the viewers and spectators, it means live tennis all the time.
Absolutely. So does that give play to longer rallies then?
It does a little bit. It kind of favors the player, I think, who likes a little bit slower conditions. You don't have to deal with the elements and so forth. During my generation when I was playing, I wish I had the roof because you had those on-off with rain delays all the time. And I think it just gives you a guarantee of tennis all the time. And with modern technology and the way everybody wants everything now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Right, okay, so here's our first drink. So this is the Wimbledon Cup. We've got some strawberries going in there.
Very nice.
We've got oranges, we've got lemons, we've got some vermouth, some blackberry gin.
Very nice.
Yeah?
I think this is a nice welcome drink. I definitely have this as a starter.
Fantastic.
It reminds me of summer, Wimbledon. You got strawberries there. What more do you want in it?
There you go. Superb. One happy customer. That's brilliant. So when you're at Rosewater Pavilion, what are the guests asking you? Well, firstly, are they surprised to see you?
Yeah, they are surprised to see me because I remember last year I did it with Virginia Wade as well, who came out, who was our last British champion there. And I think everybody gets a little bit of a shock. They're saying, okay, he's dressed up in tennis whites. He's standing there. Oh, that's Greg Rusedski or that's Virginia Wade. Right. And then you get into conversation. You take a few pictures. You talk to them about the matches that are going to be played on the day, as well as talking about past matches and matches they've seen you play as well. So I think it just adds a relaxed environment and it brings people who love tennis to have the opportunity to talk to people who've actually played and some who have actually won. Unfortunately, I never won like Virginia, but I didn't do too badly.
Came pretty close.
Came pretty close and played for 16 years the event. Right. So very fond memories.
Yeah. Well, what I love about the time that you spend there is you do have time for people. It's not one of these things where you're coming in and then you're rushing around. And again, I know you're incredibly busy, but you do spend time. You seem to have selfies with people. You chat
exactly. Well, the nice thing is I go from table to table. So I meet every person that comes in just before lunch. So all the people, whether they're there for a corporate day, whether they're for a birthday or for an anniversary, I come meet them personally. We take a picture. And then I go from table to table and I talk about the matches. I tell stories from the past as well if they're interested. And, you know, I get questions, what was this player like? What was that player like? Who's your favorite? All these sorts of things. Who's going to win the matches this year? Who's going to win Wimbledon? So it's great to have that conversation. And sometimes I say, ask me anything, and we'll go off tangents on different banter.
Sure, okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a few questions then. So tell me about your favourite Wimbledon moment.
Oh, I think...
Is there one?
There's one moment, and I actually have a piece of memorabilia behind me, which is that McEnroe-Borg final 1980. And that's one of the matches that inspired me. You know, McEnroe won that epic 4-set tiebreaker, 18-16. He thought he was going to win Wimbledon for the first time, but they ended up losing, I think it was 8-6 in the fifth to Bjorn Borg, but then went on to win it the next year. And McEnroe was kind of my hero growing up. I was only... 1980, I think I was 7 years old. So I was a little younger back then. That's nearly 40 years ago. Where has time gone? And for me, that's what inspired me to want to become a tennis player.
Okay.
And then if you look at the modern game, let's talk about the match. I think probably one of the greatest Wimbledon finals was Nadal-Federer 2008. It's usually voted the fans' favorite because they had the rain delays. It was 4 hours, I think 48 minutes. Federer lost the first two sets, won the third and fourth set 7-6, 7-6. But then Nadal went on to win his first Wimbledon 9-7 in the fifth. I mean, what an epic. And then we look at the women's game as well. So many great matches. You know, I love the Chrissy-Martina rivalry. But for myself personally, the favorite final was 2005, Venus Williams against Lindsay Davenport. And that was the year it went as the longest finals ever in history. It was 9-7 in the third set for Venus coming through in the final set. And, you know, it was just a brilliant match. So, you know, every year there's history. And even if we look back to last year's finals, Serena was going for 24. Most people thought Serena was going to do it, and Halep came out and crunched her 6-2, 6-2 in 56 minutes. But then the men's finals, what an epic. I mean, I remember you had Formula One going on at the time. You had the World Cup in cricket.
Yeah, the cricket,
and you had the tennis going on at the same time. And at that match, you know, Federer wins the first, Djokovic wins the second, Federer wins the third. Then Djokovic pushed it into the distance. Federer has 2 match points and everybody thinks, okay, slam number 21. Djokovic gets it to a deciding set tiebreaker, which was the first time ever at 12 games apiece, and wins it 13-12. So it was a brilliant day of sports. And if you're at Wimbledon, you're multitasking. I was doing the commentary for BBC 5 Live, I remember. And I had won the cricket, won the Formula One, and won the tennis at the same time. So I was multi all over the sports.
Yeah, for sport lovers. Well, what a great thing. What a great thing. Right, okay, so we've got this drink going on. So this was, as I said, our arrival drink over in the lawn.
I think that's a success. I would give that like a 9.5 out of 10.
I would love to push it for a 10. So I'm going to try another drink.
Okay.
So
the only reason I didn't give it a 10 is because I'm waiting. I'm very impressed with the first one.
That's okay. That's okay. So the second one I'm going to make is a digestif, which would have, you know, traditionally after the main meal. So this one I'm going to make with Patron, but it's an aged Patron, so it's really, really smooth. It's going to be like a kind of Negroni, but yeah, just a little bit of a twist, and see what you think.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Well, so far number one's been very good.
Okay, well that's great. That's really good. That's really good. Right, okay, so this is 35 of Patron.
It doesn't look like this is the first time you've done this now.
No. Well, obviously there's been some practice, but yeah. 1 or 2 drinks. There we go. Okay. Just a little bit of Rosso.
So is it key to have the ice cube in the shape of a tennis ball?
It is. Well spotted. Yeah, absolutely. So this is part of grapefruit, a little bit of zest just over the top. And here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. See what you think.
Nice.
See if I can make it to a 10.
Oh, wow. That's smooth. Very nice.
Good.
I think I'd give both of these a 10, to be quite honest. I think 9.5 was a little bit unjust.
It's a little bit harsh, but yeah. So I'm going to ask you a tricky question. If you could sum up hospitality at the Rosewater in 3 words, what would those words be?
3 words. It's hard to do 3 words. I would say brilliant, perfect, and fun.
Amazing. Greg, thank you so much. Thank you very much for inviting us into your home and letting us do this.
Well, thank you so much for the cocktails. I mean, it's very unusual. I'm usually greeting with drinks and not getting to do the drinking, so it's quite a nice change.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you so much.